at Lichfield Library. So today we are doing a craft activity which is painting rocks and shells, something for you to do in the summer holidays. So whenever I go to a beach I like to bring home a shell or a rock home with me, and it's nice to paint them and have them as a keepsake. So here around Lichfield we have a trail quiz going on alongside the summer reading challenge. And the answers to the questions on the trail sheet are in the windows around town. And alongside them are the Lichfield Kindness Rocks, which have inspired this craft. So you can paint any kind of rock, so whether it's tiny or a nice big one or a slate. With the shells as well, any kind of shell is fine. Sometimes them being bumpy just makes them special. So what you're going to need is a pebble or a shell. You're going to need some paints. So I have acrylic paint because it's very easy to wash out. I also have acrylic pens, which you don't need, but they're quite helpful. Some paint brushes, a little bowl for your paint and a little bowl of water, a pencil for doing outlines, and if you'd like your rock or your shell to go outside, you'll need some varnish. So varnish, you'll need adult supervision for that, because it can be quite strong stuff. But yeah, we'll get going. So let's get going. So you need to clean your shells and your pebbles first, make sure there's no sand on them. So for a shell, unless it's a very dark colour, you don't need a base coat. You can just get straight into painting. It's also quite difficult to draw an outline on a shell with the being bumpy. So just kind of think out in your head what you'd like to do. So I quite like doing like these little dots on shells. And I like to leave a little bit there as well because I just think it looks pretty. So we're going to do it with the pens, I think. So we'll go with pink first. So with the acrylic pen, you have to give them a little shake. And you can just go straight in and do some little dashes. Don't worry about if it's messy first time. You can always go over things. So some little lines in pink. Go. And then I think we'll go for blue. And you can do all the different dashes. It's nice if it reminds you of where you got the shell from as well. That's always nice. And so for some actual acrylic paint, you just pop it in the bowl. And if you grab a very small brush for a shell, it makes it a lot easier. Dip it in some water, dab it on a piece of paper, and then you can do little dots. Just hold it up. Actually, I think we'll just go all yellow. We'll go all out. There we go. So I'm going to leave that bit to dry for a while and we'll go over to the pebble. So with the pebble, you need to do a base coat really. So you do that in white. So I did this one yesterday. And then I did another coat of blue on top of the white. So you put the base coat on so it makes the colours look better. Because otherwise it'll go a bit dark. So we're going to do sunflowers on this one because I've got some sunflowers at home, so I just painted those. So use the yellow paint that we just used for the shell. What it's best to do is to do a dark colour first because otherwise they merge together. So when you're ready to paint, it is a good idea to do an outline. but I have done a little practice run, so I'm not going to bother with that today. You can just go for it. So you might need to leave the base coat to dry overnight as well. So it's fully dry now. Your lighter colours first, because otherwise your darker colours can smudge into your other ones. So for the petals, you just dab the brush in the yellow and dab it on. Great, so just do one for now. I think it's quite nice when your paint's a little bit bumpy. If it's flat, I don't know. Just looks a little bit more like petals if it's a bit bumpy. So, done the yellow, wash your brush. So if you're painting with darker colours as well, you might have to change your water quite often. Yeah, the colours don't mix together. So we'll do green next. Ooh, I should also say, if you want to paint your whole rock, not just a little circle like this, you can go for it. So I painted this one all green. I'm ready to do a little forest on it. So I'll do green for the stem. So just go straight down and across. So if you want to paint over things, it's best to leave them for a few minutes to dry. But if they're not touching like this, it's fine. You need to keep going. Okay. So that's green done. And then we'll do the centre of the sunflower. So that's kind of like a dark brown colour. So yeah, you can get these paints from any kind of hobby shop. And to clean the brushes, it is just water. They're perfectly fine. And then do a brown spot in the middle of the sunflower. That's great. So keep going and do some more sunflowers until it eventually looks like this one. And this doesn't have a varnish on it right now, but if you wanted to pop it in the garden, you just cover it in a varnish after it's dried, which is like a clear paint. Same for the shells, so you can just have them in the house, but if you wanted to take them outside, just pop a bit of varnish on them. So I'll pop a bit more paint on this shell. I think we'll go over the yellow with a bit of green. If you ever make a mistake as well with acrylic paint, because it comes out so easily, you put a bit of water on your brush and go over it, and it will usually take it off. Or paint over it with the colour that you do like. And yeah, that's everything. So I hope you have fun painting some shells and pebbles over the summer, and have some good trips collecting them as well. See you soon. Bye.